Hello, and thank you for joining us at our third Money Monday webinar. This is a series of 5 financial webinars that the Lake Park Public Library will host and are being presented by Money Management International, a nonprofit that provides consumers with free credit counseling and education. Tonight's speaker is Beatriz Mauersberg, and she will be talking about how credit can impact your daily life and the role that establishing and maintaining good credit can play on achieving your overall financial goals. We will also have future webinars on May 10th, when income decreases but the bills don't, and May 17th, avoiding scams and identity theft. If you miss one, all these webinars will be available for viewing at the library's YouTube channel, which can be found by searching for the Lake Park Public Library. And now I will turn it over to Beatriz.
Well, thank you, Judy, and thank you again for your partnership, Lake Park Library. Well, greetings, everyone, and thank you for joining us today on this important topic, credit reports and credit scores. The primary purpose of this program is to provide information and tools to understand credit reports and credit scores. So that is what we are going to be covering today. A little bit about the agency that I represent, Money Management International. We are the largest nonprofit full-service credit counseling organization in the nation, and we are here to help you. We are here to able to provide counseling 24 hours, 7 days a week. And as you work to accomplish your financial goals, please remember we are here to help you. So thank you again to everyone who is joining us today. All right, so today, this is what we are going to be covering. These are the main topics that we'll be covering today. My credit report. So we're gonna be telling you about what information can be found in your credit report, how to obtain your credit report, and here you are able to request your credit report for free. The purpose of your credit report, what actions, we'll cover purposes of credit report and how other people can see your credit report and what other purposes they serve. Errors, what happens if you find errors on your credit report? What actions to take if there is a credit error? How that information can impact if there is an incorrect information in your credit report, how that information can impact in your future. Identity theft, will cover how to protect yourself and what action to take if you do become a victim of identity theft. Understanding credit score will cover how scores are calculated and what they mean. And lastly, how can you positively impact your credit score and also your credit report. So we are going to be talking about some tips and how to establish credit and how to reestablish credit. Before we continue, I want to make sure that you are aware of some very important key concepts about all of this topic. Key concept number one is that a credit report contains vital information about a person's financial history. Key concept number two, it is important to obtain your credit report annually and review it. Review the information that you see in your credit report. Key concept number three, a credit report is used by many agencies for various purposes. So that is why it's so important to ensure that the information on your credit report is correct. Key concept number four, it is important to review your credit report for errors. Key concept number five, identity theft can cost you time and money. So it is important to learn how to protect yourself. Key concept number six, credit scores can affect the interest rate on loans. So it is important to have specific rules So there's no negative impact in your credit report and credit scores. So very important information that we are going to be covering here today. Now, there is a lot of questions, there is a lot of myths, a lot of facts. You're going to be talking to your friends, relatives, coworkers. So a lot of information is coming in from every source. But it's very important to get the right information. It is important to get the correct information. So many people have questioned, what is a credit report? What is a credit score? Why is it so important? What is a good credit score? What is a negative credit score? What information can I find in my credit report history? So all this information you are going to be receiving today. You're going to be receiving the correct answers to all your questions. So very important. Okay, so why is your credit important? Why is your credit report so important? Well, credit decisions can affect your credit report, and it is important that you know how these decisions can impact financial opportunities. So good credit, having a good credit can lead to approval and lower interest rate on bank loans, approval and lower interest rate on credit cards, better interest rate on other personal loans, home equity loans, mortgage loans, car loans. You will have more housing options, better interest and payment terms on vehicles, lower insurance rate for housing and vehicle, and certain job opportunities. So very important. Credit report has become a very important type of information. I always like to tell my participants and my audience that your credit report history is just like your report card when you were in school, or if you have children, maybe your children's report card. So in the report card, it has the student name, the address, any comments, any comments from teachers or notes from the parents, what the subjects the student is taking, how many days the student has arrived late to school or missed days of school, so all that information. So the report card becomes a reference. It becomes a reference on how the student is doing. And that way the student is moving up to other grades. So the same thing with the credit report history. Credit report history becomes a part of our life, that it becomes a reference. So it can either open or close many doors. So very important information. All right, so credit agencies and credit bureaus. In the United States, we have many credit reporting agencies that they gather information from consumers. They sell it, they compile the information. But the three major credit reporting agencies in the United States are Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. These are the three major credit reporting agencies. So what exactly is the role of a credit reporting agency? A credit reporting agency or credit bureau maintains a computerized records to collect and distribute account information to their subscribers via credit report history. Credit reporting agencies do not make lending decisions, and they do not approve or reject credit. Also, credit reporting agencies only can report credit information in the form of a credit report. It is also very important to know that credit report, these credit bureaus, these credit reporting agencies are, they're privately owned. Okay, they're privately owned. They are, each one is located in different states in the United States, and it is very important to to also know that each of the three credit reporting agencies will create a credit report history. So very important that when we are looking at how you can request your credit report, very important to request it from each of the three credit reporting agencies. It's also one other important thing to know is that credit reporting agencies, to report to the credit reporting agency is volunteer. So if a creditor, let's see, I have an account with a bank and I have a credit card, and that bank, that financial institution only wants to report to one of the credit reporting agencies, they only report to one. So that is also very important to know, and that take us to really emphasize that all consumers need to look and revise all of the three credit reporting, all of the credit history from all of the three credit reporting agencies. Okay, all right. So these are the roles of the credit reporting agency. So what exactly is the information that I can find in my credit report? Well, information that you're going to find is going to be personal identification information, alerts and validations, consumer statements, public record information, inquiries or from companies or maybe other sources that they have requested your credit file, consumer statements, which is a 100-word statement about an item that you have disputed. So we as a consumer have the right to put that statement in our credit file. Also, the credit report, it is a record, a credit report history. Besides finding all this information on your credit report, your credit report history is a record of how an individual has repaid credit obligations in the past based on information supplied by creditors, okay? So the creditors supply this information to the credit reporting agencies. The credit reporting agencies compile this information, and then they create what is called a consumer credit report. Okay. All right, so here is a sample of your credit report, and there is a workbook that goes with this class, so you are able to review this information in the workbook. But there is a sample of your credit report. As you can see, your personal information is in there. You can also find the alerts and validations. You can also find detail on each creditor that we have, who is the owner, the amount, the date that the account was open, the monthly payment, the highest balance, the lowest balance, how is it being paid, on time, or is it being late? You know, all detailed information about each account. And then, of course, as I mentioned, any public record information or any accounts on collections will be also found in the credit report. All right, so obtaining your credit report. It is very important to know that these credit bureaus, these credit reporting agencies, they compile information and they have very personal information from all the consumers. They have the names, addresses, current and past addresses, social security, date of birth, everything. Very, very personal information. So the government has created some laws and regulations that helps consumer know our rights when it comes to credit. One of those laws and regulations, it is called the Fair and Accurate Credit Transaction Act, which gives the right to request a credit report for free free of charge to all consumers. And this law allows consumers to request one copy every 12 months from each of the two credit reporting agencies. But let me make a parenthesis in here. There is an amendment that it has been done to this law and regulation due to the situation that we've been facing, and is that every consumer is eligible to receive a free copy of their credit report once a week until April of 2022. April of 2022, every consumer is eligible under this law and regulation to receive a free copy of your credit report once a week, because the consumers need to make sure that the creditors are reporting it the right way. If we have made any repayment plans or and for best.
Beatriz, are you there? We seem to have lost you. Beatriz?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, yes.
Okay, I don't know what happened. The whole system just went blank.
Yeah, you
So
froze
let
a
me
few
go.
times and then, yeah, you disappeared.
Yes, the whole system just went blank, and there's a stormy over here, so I don't know. Let me go ahead and then I'll pick up. I believe we were on a slide, how to obtain a free copy of your credit report. So let me go ahead.
Yeah, the
But I don't
time would have
see-
been about 2:17, 2:16, 2:17 when you disappeared, if that helps at all.
Yeah. No, I cannot see that because I don't have the system where she fixed the recording, but I
Okay.
can repeat and she can always cut and paste.
Okay.
But I cannot see my face over there talking for some reason now. I cannot see.
There is nothing, I can hear you, but there is nothing, your shared screen is gone.
Yeah.
I don't know what we want to do about this.
No, I'm bringing it up. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
All right.
But I cannot see, my video is off. I don't know why my video is off.
Yeah, I can't see you, but I can see your shared screen. And there's a great big black rectangle at the top of it.
Yeah. There. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can still hear you.
Okay. I don't know why it's not coming on. No idea. Let me go ahead and repeat. Sample of credit report. Yeah, as long as you can hear me, then she's able to record it. Okay? Right.
Thanks.
Okay, you're welcome. Apologize. Okay, so here you're able to see a sample of your credit report. So the information that you are going to find in your credit report, personal identification information, your name, your date of birth, current and former addresses, social security. You're also going to be able to see alerts and validations. And here is, these are alerts that are placed on your credit report so that you may be contacted for confirmation of identity. There is also an area for consumer statements, and this is an area where consumer is able to put a 100-word statement about an item that is being disputed. Creditor account information, credit history, credit accounts, when they were opened, if they are individual account, joint account, authorized accounts, when the account was opened, monthly payments, highest balance, how is the account being paid, if it's being paid on time. So a lot of detailed information on this area about each creditor, each credit account. Collection agency account information. In this area, if the consumer has any account on collection, they will have the information there, how many accounts are in that status. Also inquiries, these are companies or sources that have requested your credit file. This area also will include all volunteer and all involuntary inquiries over the last 2 years, okay? So all this detailed information, it is on your credit report. So make sure that when you request your credit report, you look at every single area. All right, so we have the right to obtain our credit report for free. As we have been mentioning in our credit file, a lot of personal information we see in our credit file, our name, social security, date of birth, and more. So these credit bureaus are gathering this information, and they are compiling it, and they are selling our information. So the government has created some laws and regulations that allows consumer to really know our rights when it comes to using credit wisely. So one of those laws and regulations is the Fair and Accurate Credit Transaction Act, FACT, which gives every consumer the right to request a credit report for free, obtain a credit report for free. And this is specifically every 12 months from all of the 3 major credit bureaus. I also like to do a little parenthesis in here. Due to the pandemic, due to the circumstances that we've been facing, this law and regulation has done an amendment. So it allows every consumer to request a free copy of their credit report from each of the 3 credit bureaus once a week until April of 2022. And this is very important because many consumers were able to do some forbearance, payment plans. So we need to make sure that this changes in our payment and with our creditors are being reported the right way, the correct way. So the law is giving us the opportunity to check and revise the information in our credit report. So also, it's very important to understand that that we have the right to request our credit report and to see if there is errors, if there are any information that is inaccurate. So obtaining your credit report is a must. It's something that it should be done by every consumer in the U.S. All right, so the purpose. What is exactly the purpose or how our credit report is used? Well, our credit report is used for credit approval. It's also used for employment. Yes, many employers today are requesting to see our credit file, to underwrite insurance, car insurance, and homeowners insurance. Is also serve to help us to issue a professional license. Credit report is also used in response to a court order or a federal jury subpoena. And it can be used also by the Internal Revenue Service for identification to make sure that that person is the person. And also can be used for review or collection. So many purposes. That's why it's so important, as I was mentioning a little bit ago, that your credit report is just like your report card. So we need to make sure that this information that is reported is correct. So it just become a referral. It just become a resume, part of our life. So if the creditor denies you credit within the last 60 days, the consumer letter and request a free credit report. Okay, and this is also part of some of the laws and regulations that were created when it comes to using credit wisely. If it's also credit report allow us to, to really approve any loans or any type of accounts that we are applying for. Okay. All right. So once again, reviewing your credit report for errors. So now that you have your credit report, it is important to review the credit report for errors. Keep in mind that credit reporting agencies build their files and obtain information from consumers, from creditors, from public records, inquiries, consumer statements, and collection accounts. So errors can occur and may cost you loan approvals, lower rates, and even employment. So it is very important, once again, that you check your credit report for errors, making sure that your name is spelled the right way, your current addresses, past addresses, account status information, active account dates, anything. It's very important to check, to review your credit report for errors. Now, what happened? What happened if we find errors on our credit report? Well, once again, there is another law and regulation, and this is the Fair Credit Reporting Act, the FCRA, which allows consumers to not only to obtain a copy of a credit report, but also sets up a procedure for correcting mistakes in a credit record and a credit report history. Keep in mind that disputing errors on your credit report, it is free of charge. It is free of charge. So you have the right to dispute information that is wrong or outdated. The process, you can file a dispute. There's two ways. You can file a dispute via mail or online with a credit reporting agency. Remember, there are 3 credit reporting agencies: Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. So if we find error on all of the 3, then we must do this dispute with each of them, with each of the 3 credit reporting agencies. The credit reporting agency must investigate the dispute by contacting the creditor, who has 30 days to respond to the agency. The creditor must certify the information that reported is correct. If the creditor cannot verify the account or fails to get back to the credit reporting agency within those 30 days, then they must remove the information from the credit report. Okay, so very important, there is a process. Keep in mind, there is a law and regulation already established that give us the right to dispute information on credit report. All right, so by inspecting also your credit report, you can help detect identity theft. Identity theft is a serious crime and occurs when a thief steals your personal information and uses it without your knowledge to commit fraud or other crimes. Identity theft can cost you time and money, and it can destroy your credit and ruin your good name. So here are some statistics. These statistics were taken from the Bureau of Justice. You can also find more information under the Federal Trade Commission with more data and information and a lot of updates on this situation. The Federal Trade Commission advised to follow consumers' 3 steps, and this is deter, detect, and defend. Okay, so by deterring identity theft, we should shred financial documents and paperwork with personal information before we throw it in the trash can. We must protect our Social Security number. Please do not carry your Social Security card in your wallet, or write your Social Security number on a check. Don't give it out. You only need to give it out when it's necessary, or you are applying for an employment or for any type of federal help. Don't give out personal information on the phone, through the mail, or over the internet. Okay, avoid disclosing any personal information. Never click on links sent in unsolicited emails. Don't use an obvious password. Try to change them and try to use very difficult numbers. Keep your personal information in a secure place. So this is going to help by deterring identity theft. Detect suspicious activity by routinely monitoring your financial accounts and billing statements. Make sure that as soon as you get your credit card statement, you check it out. Be alert to signs that require immediate attention, such as bills that do not arrive as expected, maybe unexpected credit cards or account statements, calls or letters about purchases that you did not make, charges on your financial statements that you do not recognize. So immediately make sure that you reach out to your creditor, to your bank, to your credit card issuer. Inspect your credit report. Credit reports contain information about you. Everything. Everything needs to be inspected on that credit report. Defend against identity theft. If you think that you are a victim of identity theft, immediately place a fraud alert in all of your 3 credit report history. Contact the security or fraud department follow up in writing, go to the Federal Trade Commission, ftc.gov, and this information all with more detail, you can find it also in your handbook that goes with this series. As for verifications, keep copies of documents and records of your conversation when you talk to the creditor. File a police report. So very important to defend immediately against identity theft. Credit scores. Wow, so this is a very important information when it comes to credit report history. Many of us always talking about what is your credit score, you know, is my credit score good or is it negative? But what is exactly a credit score? A credit score is a number that creditors use to assess the likelihood that consumers will repay their debts and make payments on time. The credit score is also a number that is generated using a statistical computer model that takes the information from your credit report. So the credit score is not a part of your credit history. It is a snapshot of your risk at the time you request credit, and it's generated based on the information in your credit report at that moment. Okay. There are lately in the industry, there is several credit score models, but the most widely used is the FICO score model, and this is the one that we'll see in the presentation. So what is exactly a good credit score, and how is the credit score ranges? Well, the scores typically, in this case, the FICO score ranges from 300 to 850. So the higher the credit score, the more likely you are to receive a loan with a good interest rate. One creditor may extend you credit with a score of 675, while another lender may deny you credit based on the same score. The score may affect the type of or amount of credit of the interest rate that a lender offers you. So let's look at an example just very quickly, and we'll go back to the credit score. How is the credit score based? So in this example, you see that a good credit score, the down payment is 0, but the poor credit score is 500. The payment amount, the interest rate with a good credit score is going to be a lower interest rate. With a poor credit score is going to be a higher credit, a higher interest rate. All right. So let's go back, and this is actually how is the credit score takes in consideration. But before I go into that, an exceptional credit is between 850 and 800. A good credit is between 739 and 670. And then a very poor 300, between 300 and 579. Fair credit score between 580 and 669. So just to kind of give an idea, and this is based on the FICO score model. So always trying to advise consumers to aim for that, you know, for good, anything higher than 670. So how is the credit score? What are the percentage that the credit score takes in consideration for to give you a credit score? Well, 35% is payment history. 35% of your credit score is payment history. 30% is the amount owed to all the creditor. And also, in another word, in another words, is the outstanding debt. How much are we, owing? How much are we using versus our line of credit? 15% is length of credit history. So how long do we have credit established? 10% is the amount of new credit. And then in here is when we talk about inquiries. So there's two types of inquiries in here. The soft inquiries and the hard inquiries. The soft inquiries are the ones that will not have any impact on your credit score or credit file. And those are, for example, us. Every consumer has the right to request their credit report, so that is a soft. Employment, if you are applying for an employment and your employer asks you a permission to request your credit, that is a soft inquiry. Pre-approved offers in the mail. Pre-approved offers in the mail, those are soft inquiries. Hard inquiries. Hard inquiries will have an impact on your credit file. And those are when we are applying credit, when we are seeking to open new lines of credit. And then, even if we get denied, that is still a hard inquiry in your credit report. So the less applying for credit, the less inquiries for loan application, the better, because they will stay. Hard inquiries are going to stay in your credit file up to 2 years. So it's very important to really minimize when applying for credit. So once again, why having a good credit it helps us when we're applying for loans. So we ended up paying less interest overall in the loan that we apply for. All right, so how can we positively impact our credit scores? As you were able to see, the higher the credit score can mean better interest rate loans. So if you know that you have a low credit score, then we need to improve it. So try to improve it. Here are some tips. Be sure your credit report is accurate. Remember, errors can happen. Credit reporting agencies are receiving information from all types of sources. So we want to make sure that it's accurate. Pay your bills consistently and on time. Be aware of your credit limits versus your balances, which is called also utilization. And that's what I was meaning with the 30%, is that we should keep the utilization 30% or less. So 30% or less. So if we have a line of credit of $1,000, we should only be utilizing $300 or less. Transfer balances above 50% of your credit limit to another card. Okay, and this is to allow the utilization, to lower that utilization. It will help us, but we have to be very careful on this, because we have to have a goal that we're going to pay it off, that is going to be that we're not going to add any into those balances to keep the utilization low. Avoid companies who claim they can improve your credit score for a fee. You have been able to see that there are laws and regulations that allow us to dispute errors on our credit report. So why to pay someone when we're able to do it for free? Pay credit card accounts in full every month. Not only you're helping the utilization, to lowering the balances, but also you're helping your budget. You're saving money. Reestablishing credit, or maybe establishing credit for the first time. So maybe you went through a bankruptcy, or maybe you have never had any credit, or you are helping maybe a son or a daughter to establish credit. So and here we advise establishing a checking and saving account will help, because you are building a relationship with a financial institution. Maybe making a large down payment will also help you. Credit cards from department stores, or what we call store credit, or gasoline credit card, are very easy to get. But keep in mind that these cards carry a very high interest rate. So once again, try to pay balances in full and only use what you can really pay, because using credit is just an advanced loan that we're getting. Establishing payment history with utility bills, yes, and this is what we call non-traditional credit. So we are building a good payment history by paying rent, by paying electrical bill, water bill, cell phone, car insurance. So we're building some type of payment, and that is called non-traditional credit. And many financial institutions are looking at that information to give us a loan or traditional credit. Get a cosigner. This is the easy way, but it could be a little bit dangerous, because if we get a cosigner and we are not able to pay, then that person is going to be obligated to pay the debt that I incurred. And the last tool is getting a secure credit card. And I think this is the best tool that the financial institutions, the banks have come out with to help consumers establish or reestablish credit. This is a great tool. So go and check out at your financial institution, your bank, credit union, and see if they have a secure credit card. Get all the questions and how the secured credit card will help you establishing credit. Okay, so this is a quiz. This is a quiz. Remember, in the very beginning, we were mentioning that there's a lot of questions. We get information from friends, co-workers, social media, and we're getting a lot of information. Sometimes we're not sure if the information is the right one, or is it a fact, or is it a fiction. So just think about one of these questions in here, which you will find in your handbook. For example, what do you think? If it's a fact or a fiction? Too many inquiries hurt my credit score. What do you think? Is it a fact or is it a fiction? Too many inquiries hurt my credit score. Think about that. Another question, I don't need to check my credit report if I pay my bills on time. So what do you think? Is that a fact or a fiction? So take the quiz, and you will be able to have more knowledge, you are going to be able to have the right information, the correct answers to everything about credit reports and credit scores. Keep in mind, Money Management International, we're here to help you, and we have resources. We have downloadable financial worksheets in our website, financial education article, one-on-one counseling, personal finance videos. So more information about this topic so you can get the right answers. Social media, you can find us in social media, sign up for our newsletter, and to get articles. Disclaimer, today's presentation is designed for educational purposes only and should not be construed as an investment, tax, or legal advice. So if you need investment, tax, or legal assistance, please consult a professional. Once again, I really thank everyone for attending today's webinar, Credit Report and Credit Score. Any questions, please, you can also call us at 1-866-515-2227. We're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and our website, moneymanagement.org. So, thank you again for participating in today's session, Credit Report